Good morning, friends from Europe. Good night, colleagues from the US and from America. And good afternoon, colleagues in Asia and in the east of the world. Day 3 just about to start. It's amazing that time is flying and we're already halfway through our Study-A-Thon. We started just a couple of days ago, 48 hours ago, with a lot of vision and many intentions to make a difference. And I think we're making amazing progress. Unfortunately, as we speak, this virus is also making quite a lot of progress and very rapid progress. This is the slide that Patrick shared yesterday night, only 8 hours ago, where there were 591,000 infectees and almost 27,000 deaths. Unfortunately, 8 hours later, we've added another 6,000 infectees and more than 400 deaths. Our feelings are, of course, with the families and the people who are suffering this disease. More locally, in the UK, we continue to grow exponentially. You can see on the left the number of new cases confirmed by day. I remember how only a week ago people couldn't believe that we would be growing at this pace, but it seems remarkable that we are indeed following the path that others have followed in the past. I'm really hopeful that the social distancing measures that have been implemented will have an impact and will get to flatten the curve. In addition, our head to the throne and our Prime Minister have declared in the last 48 hours that they are also infected with this disease, which of course tells you that there's no differences in how people and on how this virus infects people. There's no one who is completely safe from this disease. We heard yesterday how our colleagues from South Korea had updated and converted to OMOP claims and hospital electronic medical records data from the country, and that data was open for collaboration. They had an open call and a press release, and only 24 hours later, I've been told that there have been more than 3,000 visits to the dedicated website, and amazingly, more than 130 people have registered to work with them on this open data set from 23 countries. Now, what's happened in the last 24 hours? There's been a lot of progress in those 4 streams that you see here. The phenotyping group has been doing a lot of work, and I invite you all to go and check the Cohort Diagnostics results that we are getting as prepared by all our colleagues in the data network. And let me give some praise to Marta and Shumi, who did a lot of work and created this amazing Cohort Diagnostics package. You can see the results if you go to data.odyssey.org/COVID-19 cohort evaluation efficacy outcomes. And if you go to data.odyssey.org, you'll see there also the exposure outcomes and the safety outcomes. This is just an example of what one could do if one had access to one database, which most of us around the world do have access to. And this is what happens when you enter a collaboration like Odyssey. This is the Cohort Diagnostics from primary care records, hospital records, claims data, Medicare, and a number of databases from across the world, where you can very quickly have a snapshot of what the Cohort Diagnostics look like for a specific phenotype. This is very useful and very informative, and it allows us to identify any potential issues with the identification of phenotypes in our data. The characterization group has made also amazing progress. They have now a final or almost final protocol entitled Characterizing Individuals Hospitalized with Influenza in 2015-19 and with COVID-19 in 2019-2020. I'm sure you all know that this is one of the controversial issues with COVID-19, is that we don't know how much worse is it compared to flu, and it looks like the colleagues from the characterization channel are making a lot of progress on this topic, and we'll hopefully have some results to share with us sometime tomorrow. In the prediction field, there have been 3 research questions highlighted, 2 of them prioritized. We had a few discussions yesterday with epidemiologists, data scientists, clinicians, and we prioritized 2 research questions that you see here. And I would really recommend that you go to the channel and look up at this document that they've got in there called Rationale Prediction Question, which I think is a very good example of best practices in prediction on how you define a model, what is the aim of the model, what is your target cohort, your outcome cohort, and your time at risk. And you will see in there all the questions that they have been discussing and prioritizing and working on. I am really hopeful that sometime today or early tomorrow, we will have some results on the internal validity and potentially some external validation of what the first of their models, prediction models. This will make a massive difference to clinicians in the front line who have to make decisions on who is likely to get really sick or not, based basically on whatever they have read from a couple of papers, but with no fundamental knowledge on how one can predict who is really likely to need admission and potentially intensive care. Finally, estimation. We have been looking at a number of questions in the estimation fields. We prioritized the study of the safety of the target medicines that are being trialed for COVID-19, because that's something we can do really well with the tools that we have and with the retrospective data that we have access to. And we are hoping to have some results on this for Sunday. We have also prepared a package, or have started preparing a package and have now finalized a first version of a protocol to look at the antiviral efficacy of those same treatments. These treatments include antiretrovirals, anti-hepatitis C, anti-rheumatic disease drugs, and hydroxychloroquine, which is also a DMAT. These are our Gantt charts, and this is where we are. So we have finalized protocol writing. We have now background section and templates for the manuscripts we're going to be writing. And we have finalized the first version of the analytical package in collaboration with colleagues like James Weaver and Martin Schumi. And we are launching some analysis in some datasets to have a look at the diagnostics and make decisions on what can and cannot be done based on things like power and residual confounding. We will hope today to have access to the diagnostics of those analyses so that we can reach an agreement and discuss how to move forward with these analyses. And we will, by the end of today, once we have reviewed some diagnostics and we make decisions on what is the best way to analyze this data, we will have a fully specified protocol that we will finalize and that we will post in a repository or potentially also register in one of the big registers for pharmacoepidemiology across the world, like the EU PASS register. I haven't mentioned it, but there's also within estimation a study going on the impact of ACE inhibitors use, which is one of the big questions that many people are wondering about COVID-19. And my colleague Daniel Morales from Dundee University has been leading that protocol together with Professor Mark Truschartz and Chan and other colleagues in the network. So by the end of today, what can you expect? I'm hoping that we will have final phenotypes agreed. This is the fundamental milestone so that we can move on with the rest of the analysis and run the analysis with validated phenotypes and cohorts. The characterization teams will have both protocols finalized and some analysis will be complete or just waiting for the machines to run. The prediction team, I'm hoping, will have a first model trained in some data, and as in the estimation stream, we'll hopefully have reviewed some diagnostics and launched some final analysis and have a completely specified protocol for the studies that we are going to be conducting. Last but not least, I'm taking the challenge to continue with the cuteness competition. I'm not going to wake my daughter up now because it's too early in the morning in the UK, but I'm going to make a plea for the women of Odyssey who are making amazing contributions to this work, and I'm going to mention just a few that come to my mind, like Christine Koska for her help with putting together an amazing data network and making the studies run, Talita, who has been helping and instrumental also in coordinating that work, Jenna, who has been making a lot of work on prediction, and so many others like Anna Stropulates from Columbia, who has helped us a lot with the phenotyping. I'm hoping that I can stop with these slides, and if there are any questions, I'll be delighted to take them now. Just to remind you, if you have any questions, you can post them using the little icon with a kind of question mark at the top of, well, that's what I see at the top of my screen. I guess it depends on the device that you're using. Okay, if there's no questions, we will continue to work. We will continue to work together, and we will regroup again in 8 hours, where we'll give you an update of what's been going on in the community. Thank you so much, everyone. Keep in touch.